Because why else would you do that to me?
Because we had a deal. She went past.
Call this meeting to order, please. Let's stand up for a moment of silence. Thank you. Rick?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Ms. Champion, just make aware that we have two board members, Mr. Cortez and Mr. Colunga. And before we go on, I'd like to congratulate all our teachers. I believe this week is Teacher Appreciation Week, and I hope all of us, all of us here are very proud of our faculty and all the good work that they do for the district. Anyone else? Mr. Doctor? Okay. Anyone else? Okay.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I personally want to thank all the teachers, administrators, and everyone that works for the district. Because of the passion that all the teachers have, we are the best district in the state of Texas. I want to thank you sincerely from the bottom of my heart. Everyone here that's sitting here that puts in hours and hours on a daily basis to make this the best district in the state. My heart goes out to you because I know how hard it is. I'm talking about anywhere from auditing, secretaries, cafeteria, maintenance. Everyone comes together and makes this the best district. So we could all give them a hand right now because I think they do a wonderful job, and our students are the proof that we have that we are the best in the state of Texas. So let's give them a hand because they so deserve it.
Anyone else? Number 5, Ms. Champion.
Recommend approving the agenda of the regular board meeting of May 4th, 2010 with any corrections or deletions.
Do I have a motion?
Okay. With regards to the consent agenda, we're going to discuss what numbers you have, Mr. Aguilar. This is May 4th? This today?
Yes, we're on number 5.
We're number 5.
As written, sir.
Yeah, written.
As is, but I'll move that,
Make sure.
hold on a second.
We're just doing corrections. I need the corrections on mine.
Well, hold
It's
on.
for mine.
Can I speak, please?
Where's Mr. Zayas?
At item 33C,
30.
and item B33C, be moved up.
Okay. 2.
Where did Mr. Resendez want it to?
I think we didn't mention, but as long as it's behind closed door, you want to move it to,
Why don't we move it right after 10?
Or before 10.
10A10 or right before 10A10? Which is the other one?
right after 10?
Right after.
Well, right before we start 10A.
Okay. All right. That one.
Okay.
All right.
Public audience.
No. Right after public audience, in other words.
Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's 30,
30.
33C.
33C will be moved to right after public audience.
33C and B33C.
Okay.
Is that fair?
Got it?
C and 33B.
Okay, with that motion, I move to approve.
Need a second.
I
Second.
need a second for that movement.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, now we need to approve the regular meeting agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I move to approve the
Be moved to
agenda.
approve the agenda. Do I have a
I'll second
second?
it.
Been second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, the next.
Item number 6, recommend approving the minutes of the regular board meeting of April 6, 2010 with any corrections.
Move to approve?
Be moved to approve.
I have a question on that
Okay.
one. On the item for the PUB, for us to turn over the water rights and everything, I think they had me as I voted for it, and I did not
Abstain?
agree. No, I said no.
Oh.
So it was a 6. I just, since I had gotten the information prior that we would get reimbursed, I just didn't feel comfortable, so I had voted no. But it shows that I voted yes,
Yes,
for it. So
okay.
Can you identify Ms.
that's what I'm
Garcia?
looking for. It's the item for the PUB for us to turn over the
Remember the easement?
easement. Yeah, it was the easement.
What item number was it?
Is our sound good? I having trouble hearing.
Hearing? I don't know unless
Because it
this
went
one
off.
is not coming out clearly. I don't know.
Testing, testing.
I can hear you a little better now. That's good.
I
Thank
don't
you.
know. The volumes were low, I guess.
Did you find it, Mike?
I'm looking for it, sir.
Okay.
I know I had flagged it, and I can't find it here. It was
Mr.
a-
President, could we move to consent agenda and give him a little
and
more
just give them a
time
little,
to look for it?
I'm looking for it myself, so we can just move on, and then we'll just come back.
We'll give him a few more minutes if we move over to consent agenda.
Mike, did you
Yes, sir. Y'all can move on.
you find it?
We'll find it, sir.
All right, let's look into number 7, please.
Number 7, recommend approving the consent agenda. The board has agreed to discuss the following items. All of the items below that are not called out will be approved by consent.
All right, of course, those behind closed doors 7, 8, 9, and 10, 14, 15, 18, 22nd, and
You said 18, sir?
espérate, let me go back. 18, yes. Ma'am, did you talk to Tony on the?
Yes, I did.
Oh, you satisfied?
No, we're going to review some of the numbers because I think
Okay,
it was
we're gonna
high, and
circle
then
it also.
there were some changes in the
Okay,
numbers, so we're going to.
you see we're gonna circle?
Yes.
Okay, 23. Number 28, 29, 32, of course 33, A, B, and C, and of course we move C to right after the public
On
audience.
26, did we circle 26?
Espérate.
Cost
Hold
sharing.
on. 26. Okay. Anyone else? Mike?
Could you repeat them, sir, in beginning?
The first page?
Yeah. The ones that we will be discussing?
Hold on. Well, 7 and 8, that's become closed doors, right?
Yes, sir. 9 and 10?
9 and 10. 14, 15, 18. 22, 23, 26, 28, 29, 32, 33, A, B, and C, of course, right?
Yes, sir.
And then, of course, we move C. We'll move that letter C, right?
Yes, sir.
Got him?
Yes, sir.
I move
What
to approve the consent agenda as recommended by the administration.
Second.
Move to approve the consent agenda. Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against say nay.
Is the volume okay? Or is it?
think so.
I don't think the.
Conference presentation.
Sound, it doesn't, you can hardly.
Can y'all hear? Is it low?
Certain, I think certain.
Maybe some of these mics are
certain
not
mics,
working. But
certain mics are not loud
Hello,
enough.
hello.
Yeah, I felt them when they went off and we were.
would somebody look into that, please?
Thank you, sir.
Is yours working?
It goes on and off.
Rick?
Mine's working.
Doc?
It's working. It's just
Okay.
every now and then it just seems like I have interruptions.
Yeah, it stops. It like cuts off.
Oh, okay.
It does.
All right, number 7.
Item number 8, Superintendent's report.
Closer.
Yes, number 8.
A, conference presentations. Number 1, recognition of state visual art scholastic event qualifiers.
Ms. Springton.
Thank you, Mr. President. Turn this over to Ms. Monfils.
Mr. President, Mr. Springston, members of the board, again, our fine arts department shines and is always representing BISD so very proudly. So I give you our program administrator, Dr. Rendon.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Springston, Mr. Aguilar, and members of the board. BISD High School visual arts students from Hanna, Lopez, Pace, and Porter are deserving of today's recognition before this assembly and community. On April the 10th, these visual arts students traveled to the University of Houston, Clear Lake, to compete in the Region 1 State Visual Arts State Scholastic event known as VASE. This year's number of participants increased from 11 last year to 27 this year, and the number of medals also increased from 12 last year to a total of 21 this year. The students earned 18 bronze medals and 3 gold-sealed medals, which are the most prestigious award given at the state VASE competition. This group of visual arts students is an essential part of what continues to keep the arts alive in BISD. I now ask our visual arts supervisor, Mr. Teodoro Estrada, to make the presentation.
Good evening, Mr. Springston, Mr. Aguilar, and BISD board members. It is my pleasure to announce this outstanding group of students, VASE champions. From Hanna High School, I present the bronze medalist, Rebecca Arguelles, Yasmin Villarreal, and Kimberly Alanis, gold seal medalist. From Lopez High School, I present bronze medalist Ivan Rocha and gold seal medalist Rodrigo Hernandez. Art teacher, Ms. Cantu. From Pace High School, I present state qualifier Haiti Kong, George Padilla, and Esteban Torres, art teachers Ms. Victoria Hernandez and Leticia Rendon. From Porter High School, I present brown medalist Tatiana Acevedo, Joel Barrientos, Victoria Elias Calles, Francisco Gonzalez, and Jessica Lozayat, art teacher Mr. Trejo, and Principal Dora Sauceda. Congratulations to all young artists, and we thank you for making BISD Fine Arts proud. We would like to thank you, board members and all administrators, for your continued support with the BISD Fine Arts programs. It is because of the support that our students have the opportunity to excel at the district level, region level, and state level, and also national levels. I thank you very much. Okay. No. Okay. Thank you.
Great job. Congratulations. Good job. Congratulations. Great job.
Good job. Congratulations. Congratulations. Good job. Yes.
What's to me? Top was in the end and the saw's in the middle. Go back. All the way back. All the way back here. In other words, you guys have to get like in a little circle, like tight. You won't come out over there, and you won't come out over there. So.
Ms. Brown, can you help him, please? Thank you,
I
ma'am.
can go fix you. It'll take longer. In fact, you can have the gentleman kneel down in the front. That will help. Kneel down in front. Guys, kneel down in the front. Can you kneel in the front? Yes. And those two gentlemen over here too, guys, can you come up to them? Because that age won't come out. Trust me, you won't come out. There we go, a little tighter. Thank you, everyone.
It's a little bit why, man. A little bit side.
I just took a picture of the event for the ring.
Item number 2, recognition of BISD high school and middle school science fair winners.
Mr. Springton?
Thank you, Mr. President. Again, I'll turn this over to Ms. Momfaus in curriculum.
Mr. President, Mr. Springston, members of the board, again, it's an honor and a privilege to recognize these wonderful students of ours in BISD. And we have Greg Garcia here with us to present to you and to the community our high school and middle school science fair windows for this year. Mr. Garcia.
Good evening, President Mr. Aguilar, fellow school board members, Superintendent Brett Springston. My name is Greg Garcia, Curriculum Science Specialist for Science. We're very excited to present to you the middle and high school students that participated at the various levels of Science Fair. BISD High School Science Fair took place in January. 185 entries participated in the high school event. BISD Middle School Science Fair took place in January 23rd at Cummings with 265 entries. The best projects advanced to the UTB, TSE, Rio Grande Valley Regional Science and Engineering Fair held at UT Brownsville in March. BISD had 267 entries in the junior and senior divisions. First, second, and third place winners at the UTB Regional Science Fair advanced to the ExxonMobil Texas State Science and Engineering Fair held in San Antonio in April 10th. BISD had 48 students participate at the state competition. One student, Emily Morales from PACE, will participate in the International Science and Engineering Fair to be held in San Jose, California, the week of May 9th through the 14th. Please let me announce first the middle school winners. From Cummings, I've got Jasmine Hernandez, April Miranda, Salvador Piña, Robert Lopez Jr., Luis Melendez, Isael Reinaga, Samuel Garza, Rolando Treviño, Aaron Salazar, Matthew Cohen, Eduardo Sanchez, Alejandro Mares, Miguel Cisneros, Cody Perez, Jonathan Saldivar, Janet Lopez, Stephen McCleary, Kayla Trevino, Catherine Stone, Marla Zarate. Okay, these represents our 10 middle schools. I would also like to recognize the teachers, administrators from our middle schools who support, sponsor, and mentor our students through the science fair process.
Right there so we can
Good job. You from coming? Oh. Yes, you can postpone the benchmarks.
Just this month.
All right. Garcia Middle School? Lucia. Oh, nice. Oh, yeah. That's better. Congratulations. Congratulations. Hi. You.
Great job. That's him. Mrs. Murphy. Ben. Man, I'm not gonna let you. Congratulations. Thank you.
How are you? Congratulations, sir. Congratulations, sir. Congratulations. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Now everybody move all the way to the back.
Congratulations, man. Sir, congratulations.
Got it. Here, a word to the wife. Get over to that, sir, please. Because we're a bunch of midgets here. I mean, short people. We need a lot of napkins. That wasn't me.
I forgot about that.
Student to career in technology.
No, hombre. Va cuando lleguen ya, se acabó, como los policías. Vayan hasta que se acabó la pelea. Just to pick up the body, please. Okay. Oh, I'm sugary. The one in the back, feel free to stand on your toes so you're not going to come out. Yes, now nobody move because those cameras back there. There you go. I hate digitals. I got it. That's it. Let's go.
Just your teeth and your
I eat that salad in a hurry.
Let's save
I
this
know,
one.
I saw that.
Okay, we're done.
Wow. Thank you, Ms. Ward. Tell her to behave.
There's no trash.
The champion, number 3.
Presentation of Internal Audit Week.
Mrs. Springton.
No, we have one more.
You had another group?
Another presentation.
Sir, I'd like to read out the high school winners now. From Hannah High School, we have Raul Garcia, Heather Glover, Michael Espinosa, Rolando Hernandez, Lauren Rogers, Alberto Mata. From Lopez High School, I've got Yelitza Garcia. From Pace High School, Heidi Kong and James Crichel. And again, I'd like to congratulate the teachers and administrators from the high school that support, sponsor, and mentor our students in the science fair.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Good job again.
Great job. Congratulations. Thank you. Great job. Thank you. Good job.
go, Mister.
Congratulations, great job.
Thank you.
How you doing?
Great work.
Congratulations, sir.
Hey, buddy.
That's right.
So proud of you. You're actually caught on. The Yankees right away. They dropped to the base.
See you guys.
Coached him in baseball. He tells me.
Yeah, they're going to Libya or somewhere.
Isn't it good to know? Quit.
No, I don't know what he's going to do, but whether it's a job or... Oh, so he's still going to be here.
There you go. Scoot more that way. There you go.
And the wife and the baby.
Yeah.
That's okay. My brother's like that too. He's got
Is everybody in there?
Oh, yeah, but
Was
all
it the
over
back?
everywhere.
Did I show?
All over the world. Well, BISD doesn't have a place there.
Don't move. Don't move. Don't move. Don't move.
That's what drives my brother to go foreign all the time.
Unless it was in the previous minutes.
Thank you.
You must have got my phone number, baby, but we only have one set of minutes, right? That's it. April 6th.
Here are your napkins.
Item number 3, presentation of Internal Audit Week.
Mrs. Springton.
What is this?
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll come to the mic to do this one here. This is a proclamation that's given to us from the state of Texas, Office of the Governor. Through independent and objective evaluation, internal auditors provide invaluable assistance that helps organizations, business, and governments accomplish their goals and objectives. Whether working in public or private entities, internal auditors share their expertise necessary to assure higher level of efficiency, integrity, and overall organizational excellence. Internal audit professionals play a key role in the individual and collective success by examining accountability, assessing compliance with established policies and procedures, emphasizing efficient business practices, and facilitating effective management control. Each year, a week in May is designated for the educational campaign to increase public awareness about the important role of internal auditors. At this time, I encourage all Texans to recognize the many contributions of internal audit professionals and organizations. Their professional commitments highlights the best of the Lone Star State. Therefore, I, Rick Perry, Governor of Texas, do hereby proclaim May 9th through the 15th, 2010 as Internal Audit Week in Texas and urge the appropriate recognition whereof. In official recognition whereof, I hereby affix my signature, Rick Perry, on the 3rd day of March 2010 for Internal Audit Week for the next week coming up starting on the 9th. Come introduce your staff. You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Can you all hear me okay?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Springton, Mr. President Aguilar, board members, colleagues, and audience. I take this opportunity to address the internal audit function. Internal audit is, as defined by the Institute of Internal Auditors, is an independent, objective assurance and consulting activity designed to add value and improve organizational operations. This activity helps an organization accomplish its objectives by bringing a systematic, disciplined approach to evaluate and improve the effectiveness of risk management, control, and governance. Our objectives are highlighted on this little pamphlet that we created for you all, and if anybody got a copy, if you would like to go along with me, just so you can get an idea what our objectives are and our mission. We have to evaluate the adequacy of internal controls. That is the most important function. Assess compliance with regular rules, regulations with state, federal government, and compliance with the district policies. Review the effectiveness and efficiency of the operations. Evaluate the reliability, integrity of accounting, reporting systems, and procedures. And we also have a hotline if anybody would like to call for any type of fraud, waste, and abuse. And we have our hotline in English and Spanish for anybody that is interested, and this is available for the entire community and district. We also make recommendations to detect and prevent such occurrences. We advise council on operational analysis of risk assessment to accomplish the organizational overall goals, and provide consulting services without jeopardizing our independence. Internal audit also performs different audits, such as operational audits, financial audits, program audits, compliance audits, and investigative audits. Professional auditors, as ourselves, we have to comply with different professional standards, and our standards are the Code of Ethics set by the Institute of Internal Auditors, the Code of Ethics set by the Certified Fraud Examiners, the International Standards of the Professional Practice of Internal Auditing, and the Governmental Auditing Standards. As Mr. Springton mentioned, our Governor Rick Perry has designated next week for this particular internal audit week. And I would like to take this opportunity because it's not just our auditors for the district. We have auditors from the state auditors. We have TASBO auditors in the research, which is about 250 auditors from the state of Texas. We have state controllers auditors. We have the FBI auditors. We have the private audit firms, municipal auditors, PUB auditors, the city auditors, university auditors, just to name a few. Our role of internal auditor is to offer transparency, reliability, effectiveness, and ethics. And this time I would like to introduce our staff because our team is not just me that creates this department, it's our internal audit team. And it gives me great pleasure to introduce, first of all, the first auditor, Ms. Carla Lorena Valderas. She has been with our district for over 6 years. Ms. Lorena Valderas has been, prior to his coming to BISD, she was an external auditor and worked for a private company. She is one of our own. She graduated from Rivera High School, and you're going to be surprised, but all of you auditors are BISD products. So we're very happy to have Ms. Valderas in our department. She carries over 8 years of experience in accounting and auditing. The next auditor is Marco Antonio Porras. He has been in this district for 3 years. Mr. Porras graduated from Hanna High School, and he has worked in Los Fresnos and San Benito independent school districts. Mr. Porras brings with him over 10 years' experience in accounting and auditing. Our next auditor is Mr. Mark Anthony Sanchez. He graduated from Pace High School, has been with the district for over 17 years. Mr. Sanchez has 11 years in finance and 6 years in auditing. He has a very wealth of experience, and he's very good in the analytical auditing. And yours truly, I'm a graduate and proud of Hanna High School, and I have been with the district for 30 years, 13 years in finance and 17 years in auditing. Of course, we wouldn't be complete without our right-hand person, Ms. Margarita Fern. She is our administrative assistant who does a wonderful job in compiling all of our data and putting together those reports that you all get on a monthly basis. She is a graduate of Porter High School and has been in the department for 17 years. Again, we are so proud to be part of BISD. Our passion is to help this district because we come from this family. Our heart is with the district and with our children. Again, thank you so much for giving us this opportunity, and I would like to include this with our team. Thank you so much.
Mr. Sanchez, it's not that we ignore you, but it just went on by. But we're very proud to have all of you as part of the school district.
Thank you for staying, keeping your talent here. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for staying and keeping your product here. Because we do without you guys. External.
Everybody else except you, right?
The external audit, the inside audit. External audit. The external auditors. External auditors. Who polices the police?
Actually, that was kind of a joke. Yeah. Inside joke.
But they audit the different.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 4.
Item number 4, presentation of notification of contingency fund change order.
Mr. Springton.
Thank you, Mr. President. If there's any questions at this time, I'll be glad to entertain them.
On this one, I have a couple of questions.
Yes, ma'am.
These are the Pace and Porter gyms,
Field houses.
field houses?
Yes, ma'am.
And then you have, I believe it's the tennis courts also included?
There is a preparation for an 8th tennis court. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And did that came after the fact of the bidding process, or was that already included with the bidding process originally when this was in the project itself?
It was in the original scope of the bids, but they were asking, the price was a little bit high. So I rejected that one portion so that we would go out for RFQs to get a better price for that 8th court.
So we have all that documentation then as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. On this other one, I have a question, which is the, you're asking for substantial completion on the, what is it, both high schools, Pace and Porter Fieldhouse? Is that what you're asking? You'll be asking for substantial completion on this one?
Yes, ma'am. A little bit later in the agenda.
When did this project begin?
I don't know the exact date. Cesar, do you have that exact date?
I don't have the exact date of when the field houses started. I can look that up, Mr. Springston.
Okay, thank you.
Would I be correct if I was to say that this was bidded out back in '08?
I'm not sure, ma'am. I'd have to check. I was not part of the project. I was not the construction manager at that time on this project, so I have to check. I really don't know.
Okay. Okay, I'll get with administration on the rest of the questions. I'll go ahead. I think I had already emailed you some questions pertaining to this project itself, so I'll go ahead and just get with you.
Anyone else?
Yes, page 37 on our backup. Roth Construction change proposal. I noticed they penciled in a different total. It had 30,000. Then they took out the extended supervision 2 months, the $6,000, so it went down to 24,260.
That's
Anyone
correct.
explain that?
Yes, the architects review all this change request pricing, and in this case, they rejected this additional supervision. They said that that was not something that they thought was needed. The contractor agrees. So the new sum is 24,260, and that's what you'll see on the change order cover sheet.
I guess my question is, Mr. Springston, is this was dated back February 23rd, 2010, and
Right now.
it came from Roth. Am I correct, Mr. Cesar?
Yes, that's the change proposal from Roth. That's correct.
The problem I'm having is the way it's done. It's got one total, and then it's penciled in and scratched out. What's to say they won't come back later and say, we didn't do that? Why did we not ask them for a new updated change proposal? instead of coming in and scratching out and changing and then putting CPR number 5R2 and then taking out $6,000 and then lowering the price to $24,000. Why are we not in the custom of asking them, well, if you're going to change it, show me paperwork or send me an invoice or a bill that shows what was done and not just scratch? It just doesn't look official.
Initial it.
Right.
We,
Sign it, initial it.
Yeah, sign it and initial it, the person who, because there's really no signature on here, so we wouldn't have any way to compare it to a signature. Is this a normal practice for us to have paperwork just changed like that and given to us and we take it?
yeah, this is the backup to the change order. If you look in the cover sheet for the change order, you'll see the $24,260, which is the first item.
What page is that?
It's probably 2 pages before the one you're talking about.
35.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the price that's agreed upon, $24,260. And if you turn the page, it's already been signed by the architects, PBK, and it's already been signed by Roth Construction. So really, this is the document that counts. Everything else, it's all back up for us to. Now, we could go back and ask them to change and, redo all the paperwork again, but it's just going to take more time.
Or just initial it, sign it, have somebody sign it. 'Cause I know
I'll
it's
be
not
sure,
signed.
well, the architect is the one to scratch it out. I'll be sure to
Yeah,
tell
just
them.
have them sign it to make sure that we can go back and say, look, this is your signature. Make sure they don't come back and say one of us did it, and then they come back and say, oh, look, this was done this way, and this is the final price, but we didn't see that it was scratched off. And I just want to make sure we cover ourselves completely.
That's
all.
fine.
A signature would really help a lot.
I
Thank
agree.
you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
On the, yes. So the actual rained out days was 3 weeks on this one project? Is that correct? They only had 3 rained out weeks?
I'm not sure. I don't have that documentation with me.
Okay, so we're not going to get charged for any extended supervision. Is that what what's clear?
No. That supervision was not approved. That's why it was
Okay.
taken out.
Yeah, because I don't want them to come and say later on, well, we lost 3 weeks due to rain dates. So we just need to make sure that that's clear. Because people have the tendency of coming back and telling the district, well, it changed, you opted, or whatever you did, just like the PUB issue that I had a concern with. So we just need to make sure that we put it in writing somewhere in there and make it clear to them that we're not going to pay for an additional extended supervision of their project.
Okay. We could include that, but I think it's clear that that item was taken out, and then on the cover sheet, the price is $24,260. But I guess in the future, what I can recommend is to have something really clear so that there's no doubt as to exactly what's being authorized. We can do that.
Well, at least where he makes a recommendation, if we just sign it and date it, that it's a legal document, and use pen instead of pencil. That would help.
We'll talk to our architects and review all these change orders and be sure that if there's any scratching, they initial it and sign it before we submit it as backup information.
Mrs. Sprint, it's not only with this architect. I think it should be done across the board.
Yes, sir.
With any changes we've made, but in the future, just a little initial and date it, and that's good enough. Thank you, sir. Mr. Prince. Anyone else? Lily? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Item number 5, presentation and recognition, MAS, Inc., Teaching Skills Training Center, Adult, Parental, and Community Outreach, Apasionados por la Lectura. Board member request.
Mr. Springer.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll turn it over to Ms. Preces Garcia.
Yes. Mr. Springston, I believe you had already heard about this group of people that were going out there reaching out to parents. They use some of our facilities, and I think that it's good that we can recognize them here at our building since they're participating in several campuses. I know that I visited Gonzales Elementary about a week ago, and there was over 30 parents there. that we're really, really admiring how the director has been given the opportunity through the district to use the facility to be able to teach some of these parents as to what reading can do for their children and for them as parents. So I'd like for them to come to speak and to give us a little bit of the background as to what they've done with some of our parents and how they've helped some of their own children. So if we may give them a little bit of time so they can go ahead and share what they've done, and then we'll go ahead and present them with a certificate as well for dedicating their time and efforts to the district and the parents. Mr. Orellana, Ms. I believe Ligia
Cuadra.
Guarda. Yes.
Mr. President Aguilar, Mr. Superintendent Brett Springton, and the whole body of the Board of Directors, I wish to congratulate you for your successful accomplishment as educator of our area. I think you have done a fantastic work, and we expect eventually to be part of your group as well. I will introduce myself. My name is Tito Orellana, Tito for short, and I'm the president of Management Assistance Service. We call it, as a brief way, MAS Inc. MAS Inc., it has been on the private sector for over 30 years. During those 30 years, we work assisting small businesses in our community, helping those small businesses in the area of financing, management, and marketing. 1996, I was ready to close the business, and we decided to go into education. I find out that education is not like instant coffee, where you put a spoon of coffee, hot water, and voila, you have the coffee. Education is totally different. It requires a long time to really get the product that we want. So much for MAS Inc. We got into the education area. We want to develop something new, a new model to assist our kids. I was a foreigner years ago. My 2 pounds of accent, I think, denounced it. And I know what it takes for children from Mexico that come to this country and get their education. It's not an easy task. It's not an easy task for we, the foreigner, have to learn a new culture. We have to do a lot of new things that we do not know. So, in 2003, we have Mrs. Ligia Cuadra, who came to study to our local university. She studied education, and she started to become familiar with what you might call the student that speak two language. And she started to develop a new model. And we have here some students that will show you exactly what it means. In order to exhibit to you and make ourselves transparent, what does this mean? I'm going to allow Mrs. Ligia Cuadra to introduce exactly what are we talking about as far as the Apasionados por la Lectura, which is a family literacy program. It will not take too long, believe me. Thank you very much from my part.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Ligia Cuadra, and And when I came to this country in 2004, I realized many differences that I have never saw in my life. One of these observations that pushed me up to research the field of literacy here in Brownsville was that I can realize those children who are learning the English as a second language, ELL, they have difficult times when they make the transition, and I start to conduct some researches, and then when I graduate in 2008, I start to talk to the mayor, ask him to give me the opportunity to make a pilot project at the Southmost Public Library. In June 2009, I started this pilot project. That was the first course that was called Apasionados por la Lectura Family Literacy Program. When I start this pilot project, I start with this big question. Can Spanish-speaking parents motivate their children to read at home? Is it possible to do this? And now that I have 1 year continue an ongoing process of training to those parents about how to read to their children, how important it is to read to our children at home, I can show you that we have many evidence. We have parents that when they start with this program with Apasionados por la Lectura, they told me that they have never read to their children, and actually we have many parents that they are reading to their children. And this, I want to let you know that what is our mission. Our mission is to encourage a culture of reading for pleasure at home, in public schools and public libraries, by inspiring the reading passion to the parents who will induce their children to become better readers and enhance their academic success. This is our mission. And I just want to let you know also that this project actually is not yet a pilot project. This is a reality that we have. Fortunately, the BISD, I want to thank especially parental involvement who has supported us in order to come to public school and to prepare those parents. This is not a single workshop. We have taken three months courses for those parents, and we have been 3 graduations. And I would like to just to tell you also that this project is embedded within the Texas Essential Knowledge and Skill. So it doesn't mean that it is any project. We have objectives, we have our own goals, and also I would like to tell you that when we start this project on June 2009, that was the first pilot project, and we begin at the Southmost Public Library. We have achieved 34 hours teaching those parents, and 80 Mexican-American parents graduated on the first course. The second one, reading workshop for parents in public library, second graduation, children literature for parents. That was a fall course from September to December 2009, and we achieved 52 hours. And there we have 13 Mexican-American parents who are ready to go to the community, to serve our community. Now that those parents who get graduate on June, actually they are in public school. In Gonzales, we have many mothers that they go to pre-K and they read, they support the teachers to read aloud, and because we have bilingual education in pre-K, and we can take advantage of that potential that our parents have. And one of my theory is that I trust those parents. I think that they have the potential, but we need to train them. the same to the teacher, because they don't know what strategies on reading we have here in the United States. There are many differences when you compare Mexican literacy with the United States literacy. Is very different. There is a gap. If they don't know, if they don't get informed those differences that we have, they cannot support their children with the reading activity at home. Now I would like to also to share that third graduation, we are improving with number. This is a beginning reading workshop for parents. It was a spring course. It started on February 22nd to May 28th, and we will graduate 21 Mexican-American parents here in the United States. And really, and one thing that I would like to tell you, this project has not been, maybe I designed the project, I started with the idea, but without the support of these beautiful mommies that you see, that beautiful moms that you see there, it could never be happen, because I trust them, and I told them they have the potential. You don't need to speak, if you want to support a child, just because you don't speak the language of this country, it doesn't mean that you cannot support these children, because literacy, it happens in any languages, and you can transfer those knowledge that you have, and the most important, you can transfer the passion. If you get, let's see, for instance, if you are an American and you teach the passion of reading in English, maybe your child, when he study French, he's going to love reading in French. It's the same thing. No matter in what language you can get educated, and no matter in what language you can have the passion of reading, and you can transfer to a second language. And this is a research-based project, because the national reading literacy panel told, you can see there is a research in August 2006 says those children who who develop a strong literacy in their native tongue, they have the opportunity to make better the transition into English when they really read in Spanish, and then they are going to be better skilled reader in English too. Thank you for giving me the opportunity, and I would like to present my group. Can you please come here? Sí. Teresa Zárate, from González Elementary. Puedes pasar adelante, Teresa. Socorro Guevara, from Hudson Elementary. Nancy Cromack. Nancy from Cromack. Elizabeth, bueno, you have a testimony. Ana Carlos from González too. Esperanza. Go ahead. Américo Paredes, Elementary. Go ahead. Francis Morales from Hudson Elementary. They have two testimonies, and they would like to share with you. Elizabeth, when they start, they have the children struggle in reading, and now we have a gifted talent. Patty, where is Patty? Patty, come in, please. Okay. We have some testimonies. Please give me the opportunity to hear these testimonies who show they are evidence that we have made a good job in our community. And this project is a community project. I haven't gained any money. This project is just because I want to show you that we can do it. Thank you. Elizabeth?
Yes, good afternoon, everybody. I would like to read some testimony for you. With these skills and knowledge I acquired from Apasionados por la Lectura program, I'm supporting not only children, but actually I'm supporting González Elementary, school promoted by reading aloud to pre-K with Miss Cepeda class. And I want to remark that my little girl is very proud about what her mother is doing in Apasionados por la Lectura program. Last and the most important is I want to recognize that without Miss Cuadra here, our teacher, it could never happen in our family, and thanks a lot, Miss Cuadra.
Hello, my name is Esperanza M. Garza. I'm a mother from Apasionados por la Lectura program, and whose instructor is Miss Ligia Cuadra, that I admire a lot. And I have two kids in BISD. One has 6 years old and is in elementary school, Americo Paredes. And I have another son in middle school, and he has 11 years, and he's in 6th grade. Well, my loved little one has problem in elementary school, and he has had problems with spelling, with writing, with reading in English. The problem becomes serious, and at one point the teacher told me that was probably my little kid will not pass the grade. On that time, I was become enrolled in the program Apasionados por la Lectura. I comment to my mentor my problem. I concern about my little kid, and she helped me a lot. Ligia took time to teach me the phonics in English, how to pay attention to my kid in writing, how to read all nights to my kids at home. And the first thing I done was change all the electrical gains in my home, change it to books, to make a library in my home. So, I began to read my sons all nights, literature and stories in English. So I have in a parenthesis, I only have 5 years here in USA, and when I came, I don't speak English any word. Now I speak English, and this program helped me, not only my kids, help the mothers to learn English, help the mothers to develop our literacy, to knowledge, to learn a lot of things. Yes? I would like to talk now about my old son. He's in a middle school at Bella Middle School, and I called to my mentor 2 days ago, and I told her that I have an invitation. My son won a literary prize about no violence in English. In the course told that 4,000 students competition, and my son was one of the selected for 73 students. My son was in that team. So I'm so proud. I feel so, I can explain how good is Apasionados por la Lectura program. Because, I don't finish yet. We know that the key of success is education. All we know that the key of success is education, y Apasionados por la Lectura program done well this purpose. The Apasionados por la Lectura program teach our sons, teach our mothers, and help to develop our society. Thank you so much.
We will finish, and just give me 1 second to introduce Mrs. Patty Martinez. Patty is a young lady that has 4 kids. About 2 years ago, we met her. The kids were just learning English. And now, all of them, the 4 of them, have a special recognition from their school, from their classes, because of their performance. She is by herself. I don't know how she make it, but she is making it. She's a very powerful lady. She's very, she came from Mexico, and she started, I don't think that she speaks English, but she can speak Spanish. Would you like to say a few words?
She wants to say something in Spanish.
Come over here, venga. And we concluded with this lady. ¿Quiere decir algunas palabras en español?
Sí, ella viene preparada.
Ya, adelante. Kathy, can you translate for her as she will talk? Yeah, because my English is not too Catholic.
I'll let one of the area administrators do it. You want to do it, Ms. Ayala, please?
Okay. Buenas tardes a todos. Con todo el respeto, quiero hablar en el idioma que yo me sé, en mi idioma materno.
With all due respect, I would like to speak in my language that I can speak well.
Quiero agradecerle públicamente a la maestra Ligia. Quiero que todos sepan que es una lástima que antes, unos años antes, no hubiera aparecido una Ligia Cuadra. El valor que esta señora tiene, y soy testigo de que ha dejado el corazón en este proyecto.
I would like to publicly acknowledge Ligia for all the things that she has done with us, because without her, I don't know where we would be.
Quiero también hacer saber que se acabó la idea de que entre las madres que estamos en este proyecto, se acabó la idea de que no podemos ayudar a nuestros niños por hablar español.
Because of her, we have stopped the thinking that we cannot do anything for our children.
Esta señora ha venido a sacarnos del un lugar escondido en el que estábamos, o que no nos habíamos dado cuenta el valor que tenemos de que somos un gran, ¿cómo se dice? Potencial,
This woman has come to taken us from a hidden corner to show us that we're important and that we can do something.
Puedo presumir a mis hijos hoy, puedo decir que tengo hijos, que me siento muy orgullosa de que mis hijos hablen inglés, pero me siento orgullosa que mis hijos hablen español e inglés también.
I can also be proud of myself, and I'm also very proud of my children that now they can speak English.
Cometí el error en el pasado de decirle a mi hijo, por ejemplo, es importante que hables inglés, o no lo impulsé a leer español, no lo impulsé no le di la importancia a mi idioma. Hoy entiendo que es importante que mis hijos hablen el idioma materno, y que ahora entiendo que están más preparados para avanzar en la escuela.
I made the mistake of just encouraging my children to learn English without realizing how important it was to also learn their mother language, which was Spanish, because now they're equally prepared both in English and Spanish.
Quiero agradecer al señor Tito Orellana, que ha sido el impulso de nosotros, la fuerza, el que ha apoyado a la maestra, y quiero que la maestra sepa que la valoramos, y que este sueño que ella tuvo es una realidad hoy, y que estamos aquí las madres, y que vamos a seguir esto apenas comienza, y vamos a estar siempre para ella. Nosotros vamos para arriba, no nos vamos a detener.
I would also like to acknowledge this gentleman that has been the force behind Ligia to help us to get whatever we are, and we will continue on with this project for success.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah.
What's your name of it?
Mr. Orellana?
Congratulations, ma'am.
Congratulations. Huh?
Congratulations, ma'am.
A ustedes. A ustedes. Gracias.
Congratulations, ma'am.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, ma'am.
Gracias. Hola.
Congratulations, ma'am.
Gracias. Muchas gracias. Thank you.
If you have your children here, they can come up to be in the picture with you.
Here they come.
Put everybody in the picture.
Todos los niños pueden pasar con sus mamases. Come up with your parents.
We have more parents over there. We have more parents.
Bring them over.
Anybody who's part of this group, come on up.
Apasionados por la lectura.
Hácenle para frente. Traigan a sus niños con ustedes.
They're doing just fine. I'm doing just fine. El himno nacional. Mexicano y americano.
Really is a good.
You felt her coming up behind you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everybody.
Oh, cuadra. Nice wrong. Cuadra. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that helps her. Cuadra.
No, it's the certificate. To the lady.
In appreciation of the Brownsville Independent School District, in recognition of your service to your community, I hereby would like to hand you this certificate on behalf of Brownsville Independent School District for all the service and all the hard work and dedication you've done for our children and the youth of Brownsville. Thank you very much.
Very good.
Champion. Ms. Champion.
Item B, Standing Board Agenda Items. Number 6, Board Calendars.
Ms. Springton.
Thank you, Mr. President. I do have to make a special announcement about today. Today is the most important day of educators and for educators. Today is the National Teachers Day, and publicly I need to talk about the teachers who have sacrificed a lot of their time, their life, their dedication for the efforts of the learning that they have to provide for our children. The time that it's effortless. And John, I see you sitting there. Teachers, if you're in the audience, would you please raise your hand? I've got a few of you in here. I know thank you for all that you do. This is National Teachers Day, and everything that we provide and everything that you do, it's never enough. I know that. But what you give in the service for our children and what they produce for us, you do an outstanding job. Thank you. Well, tomorrow night is the 5th, and it will be our BISD Employee Awards Night that begins at 5:30 at the Brownsville Event Center. We have on the 6th the Bond Oversight Committee. We have our Budget Committee meeting, both at 5:30. And also, just to announce that we have a lot of people traveling to Atlanta on that day for National Chess in our elementary grade.
Yes.
And we want to wish those people all the safety and hard work, and hopefully they'll bring back another national championship for us.
Oh, yeah, they will.
Okay. And on the 7th is our BISD Take Our Children to Work Day. We have the Keller dedication at 10 a.m. on Saturday at Keller. And on the 9th, of course, we want to mention it is Mother's Day. On the 10th, we do start our BISD Fine Arts Festival. We'll start with the Pace Cluster first at 7 p.m. at Jacob Brown. That's also National Children's Book Week. That's a great time for what we just went through. The Fine Arts will begin again on the 11th with the Rivera Cluster. On the 12th, the Hannah Cluster. The 13th will be the Porter Cluster, and the 14th will be the Lopez Cluster, and all those programs begin at 7 o'clock. On the 13th, I do want to remind everyone that we have our 5% picnic, top 5% picnic that will be at our park. The 17th, we have our DEIC meeting, Blue Ribbon Art Show in the main office, and so in our next board meeting on the 18th. But I did want to go beyond that for just a little bit, because I want to remind everyone in the audience and those people that are viewing that on the 23rd, we are having our baccalaureate at Rivera High School. Now this year, for the first time, we are having two. We have split it up, and it will be Hannah and Porter that will begin at 3:30. And we will have Lopez, Pace, and Rivera graduates at 6 p.m. We have split those times up, so hopefully that we will have an opportunity for more people to participate inside that gymnasium. And then I'm just going to go ahead and put this out there that we do start our graduations on Saturday, June the 5th with Rivera, Sunday with Hannah. On Pace will be on Monday the 7th. Lopez will be on the 8th, and Porter High School will be on the 9th. So what that means is that we have about 21 more days of class left before the end of this school year. It's gone by real fast, but they've done a great job. Thank you.
Thank you. Before we go on, I want to thank Mrs. Ayala for being our translator tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ms. Champion.
Item number 9, public audience. The next item on our agenda is a public comment period. This is the time for citizen, staff, or students to provide their comments to the board. Statements and questions from the audience will not be permitted during other portions of the meeting, so please let us hear from you now if you have comments to present. To have your comments heard tonight, your name and the subject matter of your comments must appear on the sign-in sheet, which is located in the rear of the meeting room. Each speaker will be limited to 5 minutes to complete his or her comments. With all due courtesy, I will strictly enforce that time limit. If a group of people want to be heard on the same topic, the board asks that they designate a spokesperson to avoid needless repetition. The board has adopted rules to preclude the abuse of open forum by, for example, anyone uselessly repeating the same comment or complaint meeting after meeting. All participants must understand that if your comment, in my judgment, constitutes a complaint against an employee or officer, I will interrupt and ask you to stop and direct you to proceed with BISD's formal grievance procedures, be that DGBA, FNG, or GF Local. With those cautions in mind, we will now be glad to hear the general comments.
You know, we have 12 people signed up, so we're going to limit this to 3 minutes. I know that the lectura has about 5 different testimonials, the same testimonial for the program. If you can, I'll let you speak 3 minutes. Normally, we ask that you select one person if you're going to speak for the same program. However, since pretty sure you're all proud of it, I'm going to allow it for you to go ahead and talk to you. But everyone will have a 3-minute limit, and Mr. Saldana will be our timekeeper. Thank you. First one we have is Christian Caldadera.
Aiden, wait. Good evening, Mr. Aguilar, Board President, Mr. Springston, Superintendent of Schools, members of the Board, and honorable BISD administrators and personnel. My name is Christian Calderera, and I serve as the Brownsville Independent School District's Physical Education Specialist. Accompanying me this evening is my son, Aiden Calderera, a second-grade student at Ituria Elementary School. On behalf of the Brownsville Independent School District, it is our pleasure to be here this evening to cordially invite you all to BISD's 38th Annual Elementary School Field Day Fun Meet being held at Sam's Stadium this Saturday from 8:30 to 11:30 a.m. 32 elementary schools will be represented at this event, where each and every student participant will be able to receive recognition for participating in track and field events. We are anticipating over 760 elementary students participants at this year's meeting. And Aiden, can you give each one of them an invitation?
The History Channel.
Now we have to go.
Caldera, you know that we have a dedication on Saturdays, so I'm just speaking for myself. This will be kind of difficult. However, I'm going to make an effort to be there on Saturday.
I understand there's the Keller dedication too, and Keller will be participating in both, so we'll be ready. Also, to end, it is our pleasure also to invite you all to the BISD in association with the American Heart Association to the 17th Annual Jump Rope for Heart, also being held at Sam's Stadium Friday, May 28th from 8:30 to 11:30 a.m., where all participating BISD school students and sponsors will be acknowledged and celebrate this year's fundraising efforts in support of the American Heart Association. And Aiden? Here.
And Mr. Aguilar, it looks like on the 28th, we have nothing else but this.
Great. We'll see you there.
No excuses, everyone.
Well, both events are a lot of fun, and it's a wonderful sight to see so many of BISD's elementary students being physically active, having fun, learning the importance of not only sportsmanship but physical activity, but what it is to be a part of a team, participating in healthy competition, as well as being recognized for all their hard work and efforts. So if you can, please join us on these 2 dates, and it'd be an honor and a pleasure to have each and one of you at these events. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ronnie Renfro. Renfro.
Good evening, Superintendent Springston, Board President Rolando Aguilar, and esteemed board members and audience. I am Ronnie Louise Renfro, and I'm here this evening as the Rio Grande Valley Regional Science and Engineering Fair Director. The Rio Grande Regional Science and Engineering Fair recently had its 50th consecutive competition affiliated with the International Science and Engineering Fair in March of 2010. This fair, as you may have realized from earlier this evening, is a qualifying event for our South Texas students to be able to advance to the state-level competition as well as directly to the international competition. Dr. Greg Garcia mentioned that over 260 students competed at the regional meet, and of those, almost 50 advanced on to the state meet. But I have to note that one of our students from Brownsville, Emily Morales from Pace High School, sponsored by Dora Lopez, is traveling directly on to the international competition in San Jose, California this Sunday, and we wish her the best. But I'm just here this evening to say thank you. The Regional Science and Engineering Fair is currently hosted by the University of Texas at Brownsville, Texas Southmost College, and this year we also had event underwriters as American Airlines, American Eagle, as well as BISD. BISD's main support of this competition has been in the form of hundreds of tables and chairs, as well as some of the staff and faculty support. And we want to say thank you very much for your 8th consecutive year of supporting this. And as a token of our appreciation for the 50th anniversary, I have a certificate for the administration and the board. And thank you very much again for all of your support.
Thank you.
ma'am. Thank you. Catalina Perez Garcia.
Good evening, my fellow citizens. I am here to share with you some events and how I truly feel. I took an oath back on November 2008 as your trustee. I have had to encounter numerous challenges and concerns. As your elected official, I was given the privilege by 15,000 voters who believe in me. I firmly believe they desire nothing but transparency. It is my responsibility and duty to report anything if I feel it's inappropriately and/or a violation of our legal or local policies. I was asked on April 6, 2010 to apologize to some of our board members, and I did. However, I confess that in this form that it was done, I felt as if they were stripping all of us from our rights. Back in 2009, I was deposed when I knew I did nothing wrong. On the contrary, it was my right and my duty. I would like for my fellow citizens to know it seems as if this administration and some of my fellow board members have decided to exclude me from my official rights or my elected official capacity. And I was forced to pay for my own attorney fees. I did much research on my own and found out that the errors and omissions insurance for the board members should have been notified because everything I did with honor, moral values, and by my strong beliefs. I was told I was going to get representation through the insurance. However, on April 6, 2010, I was supposed to get my expenses paid through the insurance or through some other way, as per board approved. It seems as if my board approved agenda item has taken a change because I refused to sign off on another letter. To all of you who are proud Americans and value our Constitution, let me read something to the fellow board members and the rest of the community. The rights of an individual are one of our oldest and most cherished American values. Before the Constitution was ratified by all of the colonies, it became necessary to add a Bill of Rights, which explicitly laid out what the government could not do. The founders believed they had to safeguard liberty by limiting the power of the government. It was a unique philosophy not found anywhere else in the world. My fellow citizens, there's hard decisions that I've had to make, but I've made them because I believe in that. Thank you.
Peña.
Good evening, everyone. I stand here before you today as a parent, former parent for BISD, and as a current grandmother to a BISD student who is in high school by anyway. So anyway, I'm aging gracefully. Thank you. So what I'm here to say is thank you to all the teachers for everything they've done. Today is Teacher Appreciation Week, and we don't take the time to come out and publicly thank you. You guys work your hardest. I was going to be a teacher one day. I really was. Then I went and I did my student observation, and Ms. Munch, who is now Ms. Brown, can tell you that I asked her if it was allowed to spank a child, and she said no. So I said, then I have to go. So I decided to become, as you all know, a state trooper and wait for them on the other side. Because at the time, I didn't know any better. But then I had my children, and wow, they're a blessing. You have to have one to realize what you're talking about. But I stand here before you to do three things. First of all, to thank everyone that gives their lives for their children, because this is the only purpose we have in life. Take care of those that come behind us. The world is what we make it, because of what we put in, those that stay behind will do what we taught them to do. And if we fail to do good by them, then the world will self-destruct. And it'll be only blamed on those that came before them, because they learned it from those before them. Because everything we do on this planet is learned from somebody else. We don't just wake up one day and know how to do it. We copycat, we learn, we teach. So I thank all of you that go out there and work your hardest to get children to do their very best. And this is the best week to do it in. And I want to bring it to everyone's attention at home that go out there and thank a teacher, just like we thank a soldier, because all those soldiers had wonderful teachers. That's why they decided to go fight for our country, because of what they learned from the teachers in their lives. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I want everyone here to do that this week, run into a teacher and literally say thank you, because you know what? You guys got the hardest job in the world. So thank you, everyone, and let's give them a big hand.
Thank you, Ms. Peña.
Thank you.
Ms. Longoria?
Good evening, board members and superintendent and community members. I'm here to support Ms. Presas Garcia, board member, for her courageous determination to stand up for what is right. It is truly unfortunate that she has been treated so abusive and has experienced such detrimental treatment from certain board members. This type of conduct could be allegedly construed as unlawful or coercion. Let me remind all of you, you were elected by the voters to represent the district in the best interest of our students, teachers, and taxpayers, not to gratify or glorify yourselves as such. Furthermore, Mrs. Garcia has been acting within her rights as an equal board member to address matters of concern in which she does not agree with. In our opinion, Mrs. Garcia is fulfilling her duty as an elected official, as a BISD trustee, to the best of her ability. We admire, respect, and support her endeavors when it comes to her position as a trustee. Board members, again, I would like to emphasize by stating that all of you made a conscious choice to serve as trustees and promised to live up to your commitment to the entire community as a trustee. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Fernando Ruiz.
Good afternoon, board members, Mr. Springton, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Fernando Ruiz. The system is broke. We elect you to protect the public trust. You have disenfranchised us when you take that arrogant attitude and make decisions that hurt this community. We have the example right now in Arizona. Miranda versus Arizona. Miranda was an illegal. He was a criminal. But he had what? Constitutional rights. We're here for a purpose, You're here to represent us. And then I ask myself, where are the constituents, the persons that elected you? They're supposed to hold you accountable for your performance. You're supposed to work in unity. You're supposed to be educated for the betterment of this community. We cannot continue with this circus. There has to be respect for everybody. And I mean for everybody. And the others have to reciprocate. I hold this community to come and present themselves, to attend the meetings, so that we do not have the same situation that we have in Arizona right now. This governor apparently doesn't know history. We are of European descent, and we were the world power, the Spanish, in the early days of the colonization. And Juan Mireles, a representative of the King of Spain, in 1776, gave the American the government that was going to be formed monies, uniforms, ammunitions, armament. Estos mexicanos, we derive from the Spanish race. And why do they put us down? Now we have to stand up and defend, and we have to back up our compatriots over there in Arizona and the ones we have here. And we need to work together for the benefit of this country, because look where they have placed us. Now, let's forget all these things, man, and let's get together and do something positive for this country. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ligia Cuadra, I think she's the one that already spoke, right? Yeah. In fact, I think they're all gone. Patrick? Hammonds.
You're getting better, sir.
Before I know it, before this term is over in 2 more years, maybe I'll get it right, sir?
We can have the lady work with you on the speech part, too.
Yes, okay.
My name is Patrick Hammonds. I'm representing the Association of Brownsville Educators tonight. And first of all, Mr. Aguilar, since the people canceled, I'd like to have more minutes if possible than the 3.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Okay. First of all, there are a few things I'd like to bring up. The first thing that I want to address is the forum tonight. Okay. We had 2 board members who came up and spoke, and Ms. Pena, thank you for the kind words to all the educators. We appreciate it. But I have a question, because this happened many, many years ago, where board members took turns coming up here and talking and talking and talking. And yes, you're citizens, and I know that says citizens are allowed to speak. But as elected officials, you also have the bully pulpit, where you can talk right there and pretty much get your opinions across to us without taking up the public's time. And you also have the ability to be interviewed by our local newspaper, of which we have a reporter here every Tuesday night if you make an appointment. So, I'm not saying don't, but keep in mind that when we have the public that wants to come and speak, and even though your words are appreciated and your thoughts are appreciated, and I do appreciate all the time that you all volunteer in your duties as trustees, but we only have 30 minutes to try and get our thoughts and our opinions across to you. So just please keep that in mind in the future. If you want to believe in miracles, George is speechless. He can't talk. He's got laryngitis. So you get me tonight. Aren't you lucky? You might want to go buy a lottery ticket. One of the things that the Association of Brownsville Educators, 3,800 members strong and the largest in the state of Texas, and growing, would like to point out to you some of the inequalities and injustices that are occurring in Austin, Texas right now. I don't know if you're aware that in 2012 that the early childhood to 4th grade teachers are going to lose their certification based upon changes. And they're going to have to go back and get recertified and to take the exit test again to be to keep their certification. We need your assistance, okay, in addressing this issue and working with the association and TSTA.
Pre-K through 5.
In closing, because I had, before George became speechless, I was going to talk about a different topic tonight, but I definitely don't have the time to do so. I'll come back in 2 weeks. I want to thank Mr. Kalunga for brightening our day. Okay? Another guy who likes to wear bright colors is very much appreciated in keeping us awake. And I want to thank all of you for the kind words. I think all the employees appreciate the words that have been stated, and we, as the association, look forward to working with all of you in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. He's gone also. Is Tito Oriano, is all those are the, they're all gone, right? John Clark.
Good evening, Superintendent. That was good. Superintendent Springston, Board President, Mr. Aguilar, and board members. Thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight. My name is John Clark, President, Brownsville Classroom Teachers Association. I do want to talk about teacher appreciation tonight, but first I want to just comment that it was so moving what we saw and heard from Apasionados Lectura. My goodness. As someone in the audience commented while they were presenting, we are not Arizona. And thank goodness for that. America is certainly a land of opportunity, and I am pleased and proud that BISD is a part of that opportunity. It was just beautiful what we saw earlier tonight. I also want to comment on something earlier tonight, which was our recognition from the state for our internal auditors. And I wanted to say something about auditors because I feel that we need to give a nod of acknowledgement to that job position. It's crucial and necessary for any organization such as BISD. They work not only to keep us more efficient, but also they're a part of the openness that is the heart of the American way of democracy, as we've been hearing about from other speakers tonight. This democracy, this openness, has made us the greatest nation in the history of this planet. That's a big statement, but it's the truth. And let's preserve that. Let's keep that going. We've had history brought up tonight, and I want to mention something that's connected to that history that I learned in college, which was that when you look at civilizations and whether or not they succeed or fail, it's not really just about enemies attacking them from the outside. It's how they are able or not able to resolve their internal conflicts or the contradictions they have. And it seems to me that an auditor could play a crucial role in an organization such as BISD ability to resolve its internal conflicts before it's too late, before they become too big to resolve. So we certainly want to acknowledge and support them in what the good work they're doing here. Teacher Appreciation Week, that's really why I'm here. And I want to say a little bit of what I have and also draw on some writing by Jill Hare, who writes for theapple.com. And, you know, as teachers, sometimes we can say, well, that's a great piece of work you just did, or we can go into a little more detail and acknowledge what it is that made the students' work really special. Like, I like the way you combine those colors there. It really it's another level that really helps the student. And so I want to give some acknowledgement to what teachers do that makes what they do so special. And one of the things is that teachers care. Okay? Teachers love every student in their class, even the ones that are hard to love, and sometimes especially the ones that are hard to love. And this is true. Teachers are fabulous communicators. They love to talk and listen to students, to other teachers, and to parents. And, you know, teachers can say everything without saying anything at all. Experienced teachers have perfected the use of facial expression and can say anything to a student with just a glance. With a unique eyebrow lift, a student or an entire class can understand, be quiet, be sensitive, or nice work. Okay. Teachers are adaptable. They can change a lesson or entire class in a moment's notice, which comes in handy if there's a fire drill, an assembly. Teachers are positive. They know the work is challenging, but they've accepted the task and know they can be an amazing teacher because their attitude is great, and no one can tell them they can't do something. And teachers work hard. They don't show up and sit behind a desk. They stand all day, talk all day, think all day, interact all day, and learn all day. The corporate world may not get it, but teachers are busy people. Returning emails and phone calls are luxuries our days may not afford, but the important stuff, teaching, that's getting done. And teachers know how to take charge. Teachers have no trouble being the center of attention while making students laugh and learn. They know how to be the boss, even just using a small movement or sound. Teachers are creative. They can help students learn something in many different ways, with any object, at any time, or any place. The hallway, the playground, and of course the lunchroom are places where important lessons and connections can take place. Teachers are always thinking about teaching. There's a lot, all right? There's a lot that teachers are doing here, okay? I won't go on all night. Teachers are always thinking about teaching. They plan, they research, and they think about lessons all of the time. They write down lessons ideas on cocktail napkins or receipts when they think of something great to include in an upcoming unit. Teachers are resourceful. They know how to make the most out of limited resources. Teachers are lifelong learners, and they bring that learning to the classroom. And teachers are advocates for their students. They help them with their goals and become their defenders when needed outside the classroom. And finally, teachers don't take teaching lightly. They love it, they appreciate it, and they know it's important. Yes, teachers. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Clark. Number 10.
Item number 10, closed meeting as pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.074 and 551.082.
Did we ever approve 5 and 6?
What do you mean 5 and 6?
The minutes, because we were looking for Mrs. Presa's item, and
No, we haven't. We're still on hold on that one.
I have not been able to locate the item that you were talking about, Ms. Garcia. It may be in another meeting.
It was
but-
on the 26th. I
Okay,
just found my agenda item.
So it wasn't on
we need to
this
move-
agenda either?
No, we need to move on
Okay.
that one.
So then, if that's not the case, then perhaps before we go,
To approve those two items.
let approve, what is it?
I moved to approve item 5 and 6.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Okay. Continue, ma'am.
Read it again.
Read all of it.
Agree to number 7. Level 3 grievance number 008. Well, she's going to read them. Then we're going to close the meeting. No, we approved the C already.
We already did that.
But we're going to do also in the closed meeting.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's why we also,
Okay, item number 10, closed meeting as pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.074 and 551.082. A, Level 3 Board Review and Grievance. Number 7, Level 3 Grievance, number 008-09/10, Jose G. Longoria. Item number 8, Level 3 Grievance, 009-09/10, Lourdes Mascorro.
and also letter C,
Yeah, we were taking
33.
33 letter C.
33C and B33C out of order
That's right.
as per Mr. Saya's motion.
Okay?
And that will actually be taken up before the grievances.
Grievance committee.
And that will be subject to section 551.072, .074, .084.
So, item 33, 33BC going to. They're going in first?
Oh,
Because I
supposed to
can't
read
go to
the
that
other
one, but
one?
I'm going to go to this. I'm going to read this one right now.
Executive session was still in there.
We'll be back in there in about 10 minutes.
So what am I reading now, 9, 10?
Number 7, I mean, 9 and 9,
9 and 10.
and item number 10.
That's it?
Yes. Read them both at the same time.
Okay.
Take them at the same time.
Or are we going to be at 14 after this one, right?
We're back in session. Just let the record reflect that Mr. Colunga is not with us.
From the whole meeting.
8, 20.
Yeah, I didn't know he was leaving.
Okay.
Item number 9, board action on level 3 grievance number 008-0910, Jose G. Longoria.
Do I have a motion?
Both, no? Have her read them both?
You want to bring both? Then we can.
Item number 10, board action on level 3 grievance number 009-09/10, Lourdes Mascorro.
I have a motion.
Yeah, I move to reinstate only and to direct administration to assign as appropriate.
Do I have
I
a second?
second.
Second by Ms. Espresa Garcia. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. Now we go to our consent agenda, is that it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me see.
Okay, item number 11, consent agenda. Number 14.
Number 14.
Recommend approval to authorize administration to accept the Pace and Porter High School athletic field houses only as substantially complete.
Ms. Garcia.
When was the, I have a question for administration. When was the walkthrough done for the substantial completion?
Mr. Garza, the walkthrough with the AIA, I know I went through it yesterday. I did not go through the document per se, piece by piece, but I did walk through the actual facilities. Mr. Garza, when was the walkthrough done?
Mr. Springston, the walkthroughs were done in the month of March. You'll see there that the punch lists are from the month of March of this year.
Have we, since then in March, have we gone back through this and declined on, shortened this punch list?
Yes, sir. You'll see in the punch list here in the backup where they've checked some that were not completed, and then the ones that were complete with X's.
Yes, sir.
So it has been followed up since March.
What date? He's looking at 147.
March the 10th.
But you said, excuse me, Mr. Aguilar, Mr. Spring, but he said that he did it again after March.
When was that, after March?
You did it twice.
After March 10th?
Well, in March is the walkthrough with the architects, the contractors, when the punch list was developed. And then before we send the agenda item, probably about 3 weeks ago.
What date?
I don't know the exact date, ma'am. It's when we did the checked items that had been completed. As you see here, and it's on the backup page, we have on the 415, which is in the 416, April 14th and 16, some of the items were checked off. When we updated the list. The walkthrough might have been done a day or two before that. I don't know the exact date.
Oh, okay, then maybe Mr. Cortez brought something to my attention. Maybe I misunderstood. The punch list was created March the 10th, 2010.
That's correct.
And the date that it was walked through was March the 15th? I'm sorry, April 15th and 16th.
That's when we did a follow-up to check off what had been done since March the 10th till April 15th, roughly, during that month.
Yeah, okay, so the last time then would be safe to say was April 16th was the last time. Is that correct?
Approximately, yes,
Because
ma'am.
that's the date that's on our backup here.
That's correct.
On the punch list.
Anyone else?
Have we gotten the The warranties for the flooring and everything that was done there?
The warranties items will all be included in their closeout documents before we close out the project. All warranties for all the items will be included in the documents they turn in to the district.
So,
Okay.
Mr. Aguilar, Mr. Springsteen, so we're safe to say that you won't have a complete acceptance till all the O's become X's?
Yeah, that's correct. All the punch list items need to be finished. All the as-built drawings, maintenance and operational manuals, ADA compliance, everything needs to be finished. There's a whole checklist of items that the architect and the facilities department go through before final acceptance of the building.
I'll move to approve.
It's been moved to approve. I have a second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, say nay.
Thank you, Mr. Garza.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Number
Thank you.
15.
Number 15, recommend approval of the demolition of wood frame building number PORT 00239 located at El Jardín Elementary School.
Ms. Garcia.
Yeah. On that portable, it's just no longer, we can't use it anymore. It's not good for the district anywhere else. And
I'm sure you saw the pictures, right?
Built in the 1920s, for God's sake.
well, I was just wondering.
Just
if
let it go.
we could just-
I've actually seen that building,
Spooky.
and the principal
Well,
has been wanting that building out because she feels it's a hazard for kids.
for the children.
And she has to keep children away from that area because there's exposed rotted nails and that sort of thing. It's just in
Why
bad,
why
bad
has it
shape.
taken so long?
Why
to
didn't they
remove
move
from
it out of there?
to begin
Board
with?
approval to be demolished. And nobody ever presented it.
Does it need board approval to be pulled out of that area? To be moved away?
Can't move it. That one there will fall apart.
I mean, they waited too long, huh?
Motion to approve.
I second.
It's been moved second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay.
That's a good way of demolishing it.
I say yes. Yeah.
18.
Okay. That's so they're
Number
gonna demolish it
18.
there, Mr. Springsteen? Okay. Make sure nobody's.
Review, discuss, and possible action regarding easement, water pressure, and requirement of viable hydrant that provides at least 1100 GPM, Champion Elementary. Board member request.
Garcia.
Yeah, on this one, Mr. Springston, I think this is something that you might want to, I'm sure you've already had your staff look into it. I think they're trying to do a development there, and that's something that you might want to look into as to see what's, we'd hate for the water pressure to be removed as what we have right now. There's not enough, or there is enough to be able to provide for our campus. But if there's a development that's coming in, then we're going to run into a little situation there. So if you can just handle it, so I'd like to just bring it up, before the board into your attention, that I know that there's something that they're trying to work around that area. And I just have a concern after I reviewed the fire department, City of Brownsville Fire Department report from, I believe, Ben Nunez, Fire Marshal. And I don't know, what have you done any research? or-
Yes, we have. I had our staff contact Mr. Nunez, the fire marshal. He made a couple of comments that he had sent to us that Champion Elementary passed all of its initial inspections regarding the fire safety requirements. Currently, the water flow is below the what they consider appropriate for firefighting operations, but however, he didn't see any danger to the students or the faculty or staff at this time. But he also knows that there's going to be some developers for Bowie Garden Apartments. He's telling me that they need to install some type of fire sprinkler system in order to meet the minimum codes. And from what I'm reading is that he was suggesting that both BISD and developers work together to try to get into an 8-inch water line.
And you see, that's the same question I had asked for the veterans, that we build, and obviously either PUB needs to start giving us the lines that are going to be needed, like for the future or something or other, so we don't have to go through the expense, all the time, because they're trying to have the district always pay for the expense, at taxpayers' expense, and I don't think that's fair either. We've already gone in there, we've already implemented our lines, we've already, done what our share is. So just if you can just handle it, and if the board, that's something that you need to handle yourself, or stay on top of it and make sure that that we are, in compliance.
What are you asking?
That he handles it. He's going to handle it. I know that that's what he's going to do. That's his responsibility.
He's going to handle what?
Whatever is needed.
So we don't get caught
We don't get
with a minimum water pressure because they put in a neighborhood and they don't make the adjustment in the lines, and if, God forbid, a fire ever broke out, we're not going to have the water pressure because you've distributed it so thinly and with small pipes or the water lines with the homes you've added that there's no pressure. And I say this because of the neighborhood that I live in. When they put all these $200,000 homes, we lost all our water pressure because they didn't change the lines. So I know where she's coming from, and this is just one home. We're talking about children sitting there, and the developers come in, spread all these pipes, spread it real thin. Should we need to have a water hydrant there for a fire, God forbid, we're going to find ourselves that they're going to have to bring trucks in because the pressure's not there because it's spread out so thinly. That's just make sure that they don't do that, and we don't find ourselves in that position, and then PUB comes and knocks on the door and says, okay, we need to extend the pipe. Can you all pay for 50%? Wait a minute, the developer came in and did this. They should have taken care of it for us because we already have ours where we're okay right now. But once you expand, it changes.
So you want the district to pay for this?
To make sure.
Even though you were told that it's already a safe situation?
No,
Shouldn't
no.
the developer?
That's exactly what I'm
Shouldn't
telling
the
him.
developer have to pay for it if they're going to develop something?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
you've already
exactly
been told by
what.
the fire marshal.
Because we're in compliance.
We are
We're
in
in compliance. But just to make sure that they. Didn't you hear me, Mr. Cortez? I make sure that they don't want to bank off of the district and get it out of tax dollars like they
what I
always do.
understood you to say.
That's exactly what I'm saying, Mr. Cortez. Don't change things on me. Okay? I'm not saying that we're going to pay for it. I'm saying that it's the developer's responsibility if they're going to need a bigger line. It's not going to be our responsibility. Right. We've already gone in there and put our lines, just like we have done at Veterans Memorial, which I fear that in the near future, all these bigger developments are going to come in, and it's going to remove some of our pressure. Because it'll eventually happen, sir. It'll eventually happen. And this is the same situation that I fear in the future for that high school.
And if I may interrupt, I was told by some of the people that are there at Veterans High School, they told us it's going to happen. And these are the engineers who are out there and construction workers. They said, yes, ma'am, if they come in, it's going to happen. And we just want to make sure that we don't have to put out money that we didn't have to, because we are okay right now. If somebody taps in, then they have to put all the money out, not the district, not to bank off the district to turn around and correct a problem that we didn't cause, because right now we're in compliance. But put those apartments in, those water lines change completely.
So are you?
Just to stay on top of
I'm
it.
sorry, Mr. Aguilar.
No, go ahead.
Do you guys have some information that I don't have? In other words, you're making it sound like somebody's asking us to split the cost.
No, we want to make sure it doesn't
that
happen.
Right here, the fire marshal says that it's a win-win for us. Like if we will both benefit from
But
it.
we don't have to do anything. We're fine the way we are.
We are already established our lines. We've already, but for him to stay on top of that, if they're going to come in, that they make sure that they implement, that the developer puts the lines that are needed in order for us to be able to have the water pressure if needed. I know that Ben Nunez told me for a fact that they can go in there, they put in the water lines for the fire, if God forbid, but we have enough water pressure now to be able to sustain it. But if these people come in, we're not going to have it. So that's going to be something that he needs to stay, that if he knows that if the developer comes in, that he needs to be aware of those things, just in case.
Perhaps Mr. Union needs to come and contact the superintendent instead of board members, because really, if that's the case, he should be talking directly what we need to do as a school district.
I think he did.
I don't think so.
He said he spoke. Didn't you say you spoke to Mr. Nunez?
It was a package.
Staff, our
I
staff.
apologize.
Third
Okay.
party.
The staff.
And
Yeah,
the
he needs to talk to
procedure,
you.
guys, the procedure is, this is the man we
He
talk
needs to talk to him directly.
Yes.
I agree.
We don't send third parties or through board members, anything like that.
But he'll need
It's
to do
important. Excuse me, ma'am. It's an important issue.
It is.
That he needs to address it, but he needs to address it with Mr. Nunez or POB, whatever it
Marshal.
is. They're the ones that's supposed to be telling us, and he is supposed to come here and give us a recommendation of what we need to do.
Exactly. And me personally, I'm just asking him to stay on top of it, since now we've been made aware of this development that's coming up.
So there's no action here then?
No.
Lily?
Okay, B, recommend approval of the following payments. Number 22,
Garcia. Ms. Garcia.
Recommend approval to pay eSchool Solutions SmartFind Express annual maintenance fee of $12,162.48 for May 2010 through April 2011.
Ms. Garcia?
Yes, I had a question. I believe in the past, we were paying less for this annual maintenance fee. What did we pay for the fiscal year?
This spring.
Ms. Fox?
Yes. I believe it was in the neighborhood of $10,000. Ms. Cuellar is here, and she can give some specifics on when that went into place.
Yes, I don't have the exact number. I believe it's approximately 10,300. We've had it since 1998 when we went with the SEMS automated substitute finding system. Now we've upgraded it, and now we not only have the telephone capabilities, but also the online system, which we purchased a few years back. So that increase of about 1,700 more or less is why the annual maintenance fee has increased.
I move to approve.
Second.
Been moved and a second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against say nay. Ms. Champion, number 26.
Letter C.
Page
Recommend
23.
23.
23. Recommend approval of the following budget amendments. Recommend approval of budget amendment number 098 in the amount of $70,000 for Fund 199 Local Maintenance Fund for the Juvenile Justice Alternative Education Program. Reallocation.
Ms. Garcia?
On that one, I had asked Mr. Fuller what was the yearly fee that we fund for the Juvenile Justice Alternative Education Program.
Mr. Sprinton?
What's the yearly fee that we pay for that?
Do we have a
that
yearly
program?
Mr. Springsteen, Mr.
fee? I know it's
No,
based on allocation of students.
it's not a yearly annual fee. It's basically per student and also the mileage cost to transfer that student to the facility.
How many students are we covering for these $70,000?
Basically, on page 263, it gives you a breakdown, a 2-year history, last year and this year.
But the numbers vary from year to year, correct?
Correct. But we've seen an increase this current fiscal year compared to last fiscal period.
So we need to put in more money there? Is that you had already, how much had you already placed there?
175,000.
So it's 175 plus 70,000, that's what
Correct.
you're telling me. Okay.
I've got a question. There's a set amount per student, per situation, or, because I'm looking at the totals on 263, and they're like real different. So is it a set amount, Mr. Fuller or Mr. Springston, per student?
I believe the set amount there is per student, but it all depends on how many times that student attends, and whether that student attends or not. They charge us the transporting that student.
How many
whether they
days
go
they
or
were
not.
assigned?
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
But if that student only goes 8 times out of 10 times,
You still get charged at 10 times.
for transport.
That's why-
because
okay,
you
I
have
was
to make
wondering-
the space available.
Okay, and some students get different amount of days. That's why the fees vary so much.
Correct.
Okay, I need to know that.
But you're just changing categories, right? Yes, we're transferring
From
from
one
Function 11 to Function 95.
Okay.
Function 95 is specifically for JJAEP.
Move to approve.
I'll
Second.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Okay.
D, recommend approval of the following contracts agreements. Number 26, recommend approval to enter into an interlocal cost-sharing and construction agreement for the widening and improving of U.S. Highway 281 in front of Veterans Memorial High School with the City of Brownsville and Cameron County.
Ms. Garcia?
Yes. Let me bring up what's going to be the cost, Mr. Springston, since you've probably already met with him?
This portion here is for the widening of the streets and turn lane is $29,000, almost 30.
But that's it? Yeah, it's
That's
here.
it.
But is that it? Do you expect any more fees?
I expect, I'm trying to work out another agreement between the city and TxDOT to put up a signal light before school starts without having to pay the entire price ourselves.
So right now, it's 29, it could be more.
Yes, ma'am. For the signal light.
Wouldn't you think that it would be the Texas Department of Public Safety to do that? Transportation Department? Why, or Transportation Department to do that?
Yes and no. They have to do a feasibility study They have to do, TxDOT requires certain things before an actual existence of that light takes place, and that could take years down the road. And by working with TxDOT and by working with the county and some of our local agents, we were able to look at a feasibility study in a different manner and try to work in a way that we could get this light put in before school starts. And that is the only reason is because we're talking about a lot of students traveling on that road at that time. You've got a lot of people exiting and entering out of River Bend at that time. I'm thinking primarily safety. I don't want another fatality to take place at that location, and if we have to spend a grand total, I don't know what we spent for this light out here for the safety of our employees, but that was several years ago. If I have to spend and have to recommend to the board even another $60,000 or $70,000 if it's going to save a life, I'm going to recommend that.
Mr. Springsteen, Mr. Aguilar. So the objective of this is to be proactive.
Yes, ma'am.
And will this light be right outside of Veterans and right outside of Riverbend?
Yes, ma'am.
Both entrances will be covered?
Yes, ma'am.
Going into Riverbend and going into Veterans Memorial?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're right. If we go through the Department of Transportation, they have to do studies and weigh in the pros and the cons and where there's more danger and where there's less danger, and we never know where we'll end up on the list to get that light up. So this way we're taking the initiative to put it on to prevent any such accident ever happening, because we are in a very dangerous area out there. That street is very dangerous because of it's narrow. So I move to approve.
Quickly moved. Do I have a second?
Mr.
I have
Aguilar,
another.
we have a very specific motion on this that's been recommended by the San Antonio office, and I've given it to Mr. Cortez as a courtesy to read the motion.
Okay.
You wanted to make a comment?
Yeah, I just, but it is clear that if there's an excess of 88,000, then the county will pick up 100% of any excess cost, correct?
That I don't know.
Well, that's what I'm reading here on this piece of paper as a backup.
What page?
But we just need to make sure.
What page? At the bottom right corner, what page do you have?
Page, I believe it's 289.
But it was broken up in
Well,
one-third
it says,
each party.
well, because you see it says payments of the project cost. The estimated project cost of the improvement is anticipated to be $88,812. So I just want to make sure that we're told it's going to be followed and that they don't come back. I mean, I don't have a problem with safety and the money. I know that a life is not replaceable with any amount of money. But the bottom line, we need to make it clear to the people, this is what we're agreeing to, guys. And we need to stick to this.
I agree.
The bottom line, I have no problem.
Would you?
We've gone over and over
But
this.
our share will be 1/3 of the 88.
Exactly.
So if it goes up to 100, it's still 1/3 of whatever the 100.
That's it. And
Yeah,
we're
because
gonna
if you notice, my name is Mr. Aguilar, Mr. Springston, the remaining cost of the construction will be paid by the county. TxDOT, by a separate agreement with the county, has agreed to provide all materials required to complete construction of the highway improvements in accordance with drawings Exhibit A and in accordance with the specifications and requirements, and the county agrees to construct the highway improvements using these materials, which means that they're pretty sure that this is what they're going to
do,
what it's going to take. Now, unless we have some kind of drastic change in materials, which I doubt, then it should not change at all, and we're paying only 1/3. Am I correct?
That's correct.
That's what this agreement states. Okay.
And that's it.
Okay, go ahead, Ru.
I move that we approve an interlocal cost-sharing agreement and construction agreement between Brownsville Independent School District, Cameron County, and the City of Brownsville to facilitate the widening and alteration of U.S. Highway 281 to accommodate the entry into Veterans Memorial High School campus by vehicular traffic, authorizing the board president to sign the interlocal agreement and any subsequent documents to consummate the transaction, subject to prior approval of district council.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. Number 12, man.
Closed meeting?
Close meeting.
Secretary,
Number
read
12, closed meeting is pursuant to the Texas Government Code Section 551.071, 551.072, 551.074, 551.082, and 551.084.
Okay, we'll read them when we get back.
The rest of the numbers.
How am I going to read?
If you please.
A, personnel matters. 28, presentation of retirements, resignations. 29.
It's off.
No, we'll read them when we get back. We'll read them when we get back. Don't worry. When we get back in open session. And 28 is a non-action item.
¿Cómo quieren que aprenda sin meter?
Okay, you're doing great, man. La vozota de aquella.
I know, I can't yell like Pat. She's watching it at home.
That's me what?
We're back in session, please, Ms. Champion.
Item 29, recommend approval of probationary contractual personnel for the 2009-2010 school year and the 2010-2011 school year counselor, subject to receipt of all outstanding documentation.
Mike, we also have the 28 now?
No, sir. 28 is a non-action item.
Okay. 29, do I have a
Second.
second? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Thank you.
Doing 32.
Next one.
32, no action. Number 32 is no action, Mr. Aguilar.
Okay.
And number 33,
A and B.
A and B,
No action.
no action on that either.
Announcements?
Mr. Springton, please. Thank you, Mr. Asias.
You're welcome, Mr. Aguilar.
I would like to really enjoy that I have a man behind me.
Mr. President wannabe.
No, I don't want to be.
Thank you, Mr. President. As a
I
reminder, our
apologize.
next regular scheduled board meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, May 18th, here at the Administration Building at 5:30 p.m.
Mr. Cortez.
Yeah, Mr. President, thank you. Before we close, I just wanted to congratulate Ms. Sherry Stout from Benavides for winning Elementary Principal of the Year for HEB, and Ms. Alma Rubio Cardenas, or Cardenas Rubio,
Right.
for winning the HEB Principal of the Year for middle school.
That's awesome.
That was
Coming up,
outstanding.
they'll be coming up to the next board.
But we want the public to,
Joey.
that's something that we're very proud of, and I'm sure they were surprised, but it speaks volumes for the type of people that work in the district. So I'm very proud of them and very excited that they won that award.
Congratulations.
Motion to adjourn?
Have a second?
Second.
In favor say aye.
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 Opposed?
Good night, Brownsville.
That's yours.
Good night, Brownsville.
Mr. Cortez.